Hello and welcome to the Temple of Tomes with your host Indie Comics Jones. Still in my temporary studio. Today is August 12th, 2022. This is episode 529. Today we're looking at Wild Cards, Drawing of Cards. This is a number one coming out from Marvel, and it comes in at a whopping $4.99. Whoa. So I paid $4.99 for this. This is a not recommend, unfortunately. Now, I bought it because it had George R.R. Martin's name attached to it. However, as we'll see later on, it's adapted from a story and another author as well. So let's take a quick look at the cover here. It's okay. I mean, it's well drawn. The art in here is actually pretty good. I enjoyed the art. However, the story just was not grabbing me. And the writing is fine, but the story itself is where I think it kind of falls down a bit. So we've got this World War II pilot here. He's one of the main characters in it. It really doesn't reveal too much about him in this original issue. This is actually an alien from another planet. And this is some guy that's kind of, I want to say he's a villain, but I'm not sure. You can see half his face got distorted or something. He's a industry magnate of some kind, and then you see these weird creatures here. So let's take a quick look to see who really worked on this. Okay, you get the little blurb here. If you want to freeze it and read that, World War II has ended. So it does take place at the end of World War II. The writer is Paul Cornell. Penciler is Mike Hawthorne. The inker is Adriano De Benedetto. The colorist is Ruth Redman, and the letterer is VC's Corey Pettit. We've seen his work before. The cover artist is Steve Morris. And then they had some other alternative covers. So then you go back over here, it's adapted from the stories of Howard Waldrop and George R.R. Martin, with additional material by Kevin Andrew Murphy and Melinda M. Snodgrass. So we got a lot of names associated with this. From the Mosaic novel Wild Cards, edited by George R.R. Martin. So the editing on that. Wild Cards created by the writers of the Wild Card Consortium. So I don't know anything about this consortium, but I'm assuming George R.R. Martin is in on there. And Wild Cards consultant Rhea Golden. So that's our cast of characters working on this. And it is kind of a hodgepodge. Look, you get this nice start here. New York City, 1946. A little after, they call it Wild Card Day. So I'm assuming that this weapon is actually used because it does all these weird things to the humans. I guess it doesn't affect the buildings too much. But anything living becomes cursed, I guess you could put it. And then we get a picture of the alien here. He has come to Earth and just says, look what this is actually not, I guess this is another Earth. It's really hard to figure this out. So they are actually they've got all these different samples of what this distortion machine is, and they're going to try to steal it, fly away, and get away. So we have all these alien characters kind of going through the moves here. They take off. Their ship looks kind of like just a lounge, and you can see there's not too much to control in the ship. But this ship takes off, and it is hunted down by this other one. Meanwhile, back in Earth, this is the end of World War II, and we've got this test pilot right here. I can't tell what the insignia on that is supposed to be, but apparently he has flown in every single type of theater there was during World War II. So he was in Japan, he was over Africa, Italy, Germany, Britain, wherever they needed him, he went. So he had been gone quite a long time, and here we get a first shot of him. He's having a flashback of all this crazy fighting. and they're down in New Jersey. He is getting off the train to see his girlfriend who he hasn't seen in years, and she greets him very nicely. She's happy to see that he's still alive. And he says, "Well, I got this book for you that I knew you liked the author." And this is where she drops the bomb that, "Oh, there's someone I want you to meet." And he realizes that she has moved on. So he's bummed when he leaves. And this is another odd thing. As he's walking out of this town, he runs across these famous 20th century type characters. Like, I guess that's supposed to be someone like Charlie Chaplin, something like that. And then they start seeing things in the sky. And the ship is being shot out of the sky by the other ship, and they have this device on board. We get this nice Judgment Day. I have no idea what this is about, but it's coming out. It came out last month. I'm a little behind on my comics, fortunately. And then we cut to another New Jersey locale where these guys are going to bury a body. One of them looks dressed kind of like Harrison Ford, like Indiana Jones, not Indie Comics Jones. And they saw that ship crash, and they came upon the dead aliens plus this device. And they think it's some kind of weapon or something. For some reason, they just know that, and they take it to the guy with the evil face. We're not really told what happened. These guys are thinking they can sell it to him because they know he wants to they think he wants to get revenge on the person or whoever did this to his face. He says, "No, I'm over that, but I'll pay you for it anyway." And then in another location, White Sands, out in New Mexico, an alien craft appears, and this is the other aliens that are telling them that, "Hey, we're looking for something we lost. Can you help us find it?" Instead, this guy gets interrogated by all these different people for hours on end. And they think he's some kind of hoax, even though he's got this big spaceship. Meanwhile, we're back in New Jersey, and the test pilot, or this guy that's flown all these different airplanes, I guess they gave him this airplane because he's going to sell it, which makes no sense. So we go back to Half Face here, and he's realized that ball weapon or whatever has done something. Now, I don't know if these guys were in the room because they don't really know it, and these guys seem to be unaffected by whatever happened here. So I'm not quite sure what's going on with that one. And then this woman just kind of walks past that same device, and I guess she kind of turns into a ghost. I'm not sure what's going on here. And so this guy ends up shooting these creatures. I don't know if they came with that ball or what. So I'm totally confused. It's not really explained. And so anyway, this guy decides he is going to use this against New York and tell them, "Hey, he's gonna ransom. Like, we're gonna do something awful to your city if you do not pay us." And I guess this ball or whatever it is can make all these crazy distortions, which we saw in the first page. I have to go back to that real quick. So he's threatening to do this to all of New York. Okay, so it's just kind of a weird story that doesn't make a lot of sense. Here's the cover for number 2, issue number 2. I'm not going to continue with this. I am out. So there you have that. And then we have something for Ant-Man here. Trying to do, I guess these are different covers. The Ant-Man of today, tomorrow, and yesterday collide. If you look at that. And that's it. So it is a not recommend, unfortunately. So thank you for stopping by and taking in this video of Wild Cards. As always, please like, please subscribe if you haven't. Please leave comments, and we'll see you next time at the Temple of Tomes. I got a couple more videos to do. I've read a couple more books, but I'm just like all over the place these days. Hopefully I'll get to them soon. So, have a great weekend. Take care. This is Indie Comics Jones from the Temple of Tomes bidding you adieu.